this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with another Modern Burn video. Kind of in a bit of a tweener period right now. This is the period of time between the reset of the leagues and M21 coming out on MTGO. So there are no Chandras, incinerators, or anything like that going on. There's also no Luris in this particular build. This is just kind of the straight Boros Burn, nothing with Luris, nothing with Chandra's Incinerator, so kind of your baseline burn deck, 20 lands, normal spread of spells, So nothing fancy with this list. Basically, this is just a clean, clear Boros list, but the only thing that's not a 4 of in the main deck, besides lands, are the 2 Helixes and the 2 Skullcrack split. Other 2 Skullcracks are on the sideboard. Everything else is a 4 of. You have 3 Path, 3 Core Firewalker, 3 Hate Pieces, and 2 Rest in Peace, and 3 Graveyard Hate Pieces with 2 Rest in Peace, 1 Grafdigger's Cage. Obviously, the 2 copies of Skullcrack, 2 additional copies of Smash the Smithereen, and 2 copies of Wear Tear. The split on Smash and Wear Tear, obviously Smash is better in terms of dealing damage. Wear Tear gives you a little bit of flexibility in answering enchantments, so if your opponent brings in ley lines against you, you're not necessarily cold if you bring in your Wear Tears. And beyond that, so been a while since we played just a base Boros list, so I want to get a good idea of where this deck is in the format before Chandra's Incinerator gets introduced to things and people kind of go crazy with testing that card, which we will certainly do on this channel too, but I'm not very high on that particular card. I think it has tremendous upside, but I also think it is a tremendous liability in a lot of spots, so we will certainly give it its fair due, but I don't foresee that card being a staple of Burn moving forward. That said, let's hop into a league. Friendly reminder, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, especially lightning bolt based stuff in Modern, please consider subscribing, as we aim to be the most informative Modern and Pioneer channel on YouTube's for Magic the Gathering. We're back for the first match with Boros Burn here. Hand's pretty solid, couple of Swift Spears, some spells, so generally keep, especially with 2 lands. Almost an ideal burn hand. Unfortunately, we're on the draw, but opponent is down a card already. And NRM 1998. So likely be leading on Swift Spear into Bolt or Skewer. Obviously not ideal in the face of, say, a Mana Dork or something. Or if our opponent has discard spells, maybe this curve gets broken up a little bit, but having effectively 4 1-mana plays is always nice. So keeps their 6. Alright, so it looks like we might be paired up against Ad Nauseam. Okay. Spills in the Vault main phase, huh? Lotus Bloom, sure. Unnecessarily aggressive, but at the same time, I am not going to complain. Trigger Darkslick Shores, sure. Serum Visions. Card on the bottom. So they exiled 2 Unlives and 2 Graces, so it makes me wonder what protection they have in their hand. But, trigger me this. Temple of Enlightenment, sure, you get a land out of the deal. Which is fine, I suppose. We need to try to kill them next turn. Hopefully they don't have Phyrexian Unlife here. Okay, it seems highly unlikely they have Unlife. Okay. Trigger me this, showing Grace. Alright. Opponent was just conceding the game, sure. So, against Ad Nauseam, you want to bring in Smashes, you want to bring in Wear Tears. Smashes obviously can deal with their artifact mana, which can be nice. Wear Tear can get around Leyline Sanctity and blow up their artifact mana. So... Angel's Grace, Unlife, Vision, Spirit Guide. So, we're going to presume they're not on the Thassa's Oracle version, which they certainly could be, but I'm not going to play around that. I'm also going to bring in Core Firewalker. Now, this is a terrible card in the matchup. I'm not even going to pretend that this card is good, because it is not. However, the problem is our opponent is going to be bringing in multiple copies of Leyline of Sanctity. And that means that we absolutely have to have as many creatures as possible in our deck. So, that is why we are boarding how we are boarding. We got extremely lucky to steal game one, because they got a little too carefree with their life total there. We've got two creatures, even with the Leyline. Hopefully they kept a sloppy hand. If they have Leyline and reasonable speed, we're just in trouble. So, okay, looking like blue mana here. Yep. And if we happen to rip a Wear Tear, all the better for us, right? On top, one on bottom. They got Lotus Bloom, so we're on the clock. They find the combo, we're in trouble regardless. So, yeah. Eidolon is probably a better threat on turn 2 than Core Firewalker, obviously. But if they have the turn 4 combo plus Leyline Sanctity, it's just kind of hard to fight through all that. Looks like mana could potentially be a problem for them. Never mind. Okay, this is either Pentad Prism or Phyrexian Unlife with a Simian Spirit Guide. Looks like it's Pentad Prism. Yep. So now they're going to have the mana for the combo. If they have the combo, we're just dead. Trigger me this. Bolt myself. Triggers. All right. You have the combo. Okay, so they're on the Thassa's Oracle build. Notably, no Pact of Negations in there. Interesting. Okay. Guess it doesn't particularly matter at that point, but... select my first. This hand is not quite good enough, I don't think. No interaction for their stuff, even if they don't have Leyline. This hand isn't particularly good, so this hand is excellent. Sneaper Keeper. Probably put one of the Simba Canyons on bottom here. Actually, let's put Riftbolt on bottom. Here comes Layla now. Here comes Layla now. Color me as I'm shocked. Here comes Layla now. Here comes Layla now. Trigger Gemstone Mine. Cool. Life's a bit unfortunate. Sure. Curious if they try to go for the combo next turn. It's not going to end particularly well for them if they do. Looks like that answer is no, as they tap their black mana. Alright, that's a pretty good one. Wow. Actually stole the win from Ad Nauseam. Feels good, man. Feels good. Back for match number 2. We're on the draw again, which is unfortunate. Sneaper, keeper. Okay, so hammer time. Feels like hammer time. Feels like hammer time. Walking ballista. Okay. So, hardened scales? Might have been incorrect to play Eidolon there. We might want to go Blaze, but I don't think we're going to... Yeah. Don't think we're ever getting through for damage here, so it's kind of whatever. Not your stepping stone. Not your stepping stone. Dun 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 dun. I'm not your stepping stone. I'm not your stepping stone. Do 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 do. Gonna blow up your world. Dun 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 dun. Currently at 12. Going to 9. So if they cast any spell this turn, they're dead. Feels dead, Jim. Feels dead. Are they dead? 3, 6. Yeah, they're dead next turn. Sure. 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 Kill the Eidolon, they say. Kill the Eidolon. Face you must go. Face the spells must go. Kill them we must before combo they do. Green mana they miss. Die they must. Die you will. With spells in your hand you must. Alright. Game 1 on the draw. Nice win to steal. Of course, they are missing on mana, so that did help us tremendously. Ye old hardened scales. Hardened scales. Okay, see a lot of commander crap that I don't care about on. Depends on exactly how they're. But we can presume we want some skull cracks, we want some smashes, we want some wear tears, we want some path to exiles. Could even make an argument for rest in peace for modular, but I think that's a little too deep. Snow, what am I doing? These stand. The Eidolons come out, however, and the Boros charms come out. Because they don't interact with creatures. And the final card is... Could do Spike, could do Rift Bolt. I think we're going to go with Skewer here. It's the final card out. It's obviously a little bit weaker in terms of everything going on, but I still think this hand's fine. So this hand's pretty decent overall. Okay, so they have the green mana this time. They have the animation module, sure. Skullcrack, not the best of cards, but not the worst of cards. Hopefully we get to blaze something next turn. Animation module work. Okay, one or more +1/+1 counters. You can do blah. Yeah. Blast zone could be problematic. Sure. Curiosity killed the kitty here. I wonder if they're going to block this or not. Trigger. Metallic Mimic. Blocks. Alright, well, let's do this before there's any shenanigans, because things and stuff for 100 Alex. Yep. Okay. And, okay, they're very much leaving open Nature's Claim. Good to know. Should just use a main phase, friend. Just use a main phase. Okay, you chose not to do it main phase. Your choice. That's fine. I'm gonna suicide in here. Not really suicide, but you know. Do the thing. Trigger me this, Batman. Ink Moth Nexus, sure. Absolutely fine with that exchange. Okay, pass turn. Ravager, sure. Path Ravager, force them to do something with it about it. Okay. So 100% tells me they have Nature's Claim. Just kind of hoping we don't get blown out in the meantime, but, you know, things and stuff for 100 Alex. Yep, that's fine. Sure. One card left in hand. Spear's kind of a dead draw here. Sure. Down to 7. Pretty sure we're dead here, but you never know. Essence is showing them, but they don't need to know. So even if they were bluffing that entire time, certainly possible they were, but feels very likely that they had it the whole time. 5, 12. Is this hand good enough? I don't think so. This hand's even worse, so I think we have to keep it. Put back. Listen, Big Canyon. By worse, I mean it's really hard to cross the finish line in this matchup with burn spells, especially when you're drawing Path to Exiles and Wear Tears. So, generally you want to get creature shots in. A couple creature shots early makes it a lot easier to try to win this game. But, you know. Now we've drawn 2 interactive pieces, but at the same time, we also don't have damage in these 2 interactive pieces, so opponent's only effectively at 11, and we need to draw enough interaction for things to matter. and they can play constructs out here with get a 1/1 counter. Alright, so they're just not going to. Cool. Try to minimize the damage we take here. Hardened scales. Blocking ballista? Sure. Land would actually be really good here. Where Terra would be pretty decent. Okay, not terrible, I suppose. Do that, do that. Right. The old 2-for-1. Yep, they have another hardened scales. Workbound worker. If they have whatchamacallit, they have whatchamacallit, it's whatever here. All right. Top decks versus top decks, and whatever the last card in your hand is, which is clearly not Nature's Claim. Okay, another Inkmoth Nexus, sure. Goblin Guy is not the most exciting card, but it does look like it's going to get in for some damage here. That part's at least nice. And if they want to trade their Inkmoth Nexus, I am all for that. Please don't be a land, please don't be a land, please don't be... Okay, Welling Jar, sure. Alright. Drawing Welling Jar, sure. I think we can pretty clearly say your last card is not Nature's Claim. Hang a back Waka. Sure. We're just supposed to go face. It's unlikely you have Nature's Claim at this point. If you've been holding on to Nature's Claim at this point, God bless you. Yeah. Okay. Path to Exile would be ideal. Another land is not what we were looking for. Stirrings, pretty good rip for them. Walking Ballista is going to be an enormous pump up of their clock. shoot our goblin guy, let them get in for a bunch of damage. It does look like this one has slipped away from us. Because we're going to need 3 draw steps, and they all need to be good ones. So that's... well, I guess we play it out, right? Force them to expend resources on it. But without Boros Charm in our deck, there is no multiples of 7 damage in our deck. Alright, that's game. Unfortunate. Back for our 3rd match against Delver of the Many. Unfortunately, no lander. We can't keep this, so mulligan. Opponent's keeping 7. This hand's pretty good. Is it crazy to put back Boros Charm here? I think from a mana efficiency standpoint, it's just Boros Charm. With a triumph. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that represents, but mountain, plain, swamp. Still no idea. Did miss it? Feel like we're gonna helix, but whatever. Trigger. Here comes lightning helix. They're gonna land. Maybe it's just trophy. You don't be lucky when it's trophy. Nope. It's definitely helix. Go to 19. Mizzet is generally a rough matchup, especially when you're stuck on the draw, because they have so many forms of life gain. Whether it be another helix, Cooldown's command. Yay! Just so much crap to fight through. Spike's probably our best bet here. This basically does 4 damage, which is nice. Puts our opponent to 10. Their land base so far has dealt them no damage. Let's look at the ferry. Sure. Funny part is I'm not sure I'm sure I've won this matchup at some point, but this might be towards the top of my list of like unwinnable matchups for Burn. Burrow? Sure. That's 3, 7, 10 points of life gain. Seems good. Sure. Hey, another arrow. Yay! One, two, three, four. So 3, 7, 10, 13. So opponent would be a 2. Plus they may discard the Rift Bolt. Sure. Mm-hmm. Which is 8, and they get to Uru us and do stuff. Three, 6, 10, 13. Oh, we're just too far behind this game. Alright. So thingsandstuff.org. Probably take out these Searing Blazes, bring the 2 Skull Cracks. So not a huge fan of Rest in Peace in this matchup. Not a huge fan of Path to Exile. I think Path for Things might be better than Rest in Peace. Because Rest in Peace only answers Uros, whereas Path can answer both Niv Mizzet and Uru. Not the greatest, obviously. As I've said, this might be... It's been a rough league. This hand's very painful, but I do think we keep it. Rift Bolt into Eidolon. Hopefully we rip a less painful source of mana. Let's say I'm really gonna skip through my turn and make things worse. But as far as difficulty of matchups, as well as our last, relatively well as our last league went with Boros Burn, this one's going about as bad in terms of matchups. Hardened Scales, especially post board's a rough matchup. Ad Nauseum's a pretty terrible matchup. We got a little bit lucky game 1 and then stole game 3. And then so opponent's taking 3 to deal with the Cyclone. Presumably they're yep, Lightning Helix. Wow, seems like a punt on our opponent's part. And we're just gonna do this. Everybody gets cute when playing against Burn because reasons. We're taking a lot of damage, obviously. Always main phase your crap against Burn. Not that it necessarily matters, but always main phase your removal against Burn. And they have Kaya's Guile, and it doesn't matter, right? Just have other Lightning Helix, cool. Since I'm playing like we have anything, so I'm just going to do this, because they've already shown us Thoughtseize last game, so put you to 6. Go. We lose to a lot of things here. Canopy lands here. Yep, arrow, go to 9. Boros Charm is terrible here. I'm just going to main phase Boros Charm because I really don't want to get hit by some type of dumb counterspell. Green. So the mana is awkward enough that they can't bring back Uro this turn, fortunately. Yeah, I'm not really sure why you tanked like 5 minutes to figure that one. I mean, that seems pretty freaking simple here. If you have Dovin's Veto, you have Dovin's Veto. Tank made even less sense. Look like they do. But as far as 3 matchups, this is 3 of Burn's probably tougher matchups back to back to back. And we were on the draw game 1 each matchup, so I think overall we've had a pretty good alright, so I guess they can bring back Uro, puts them to 4. Looks like that's what they're doing. Okay, we need one more. Is that a premature concession? Put them to 1. They go back to 4. Path this. We're taking 7 next turn. Put us to 3. Pathing that. Put us to 2. And then maybe if they have nothing, we win. I don't know. I think that was maybe a bit of a premature concession on my part, but still kind of frustrating. Alright, on to the next match. Back for match number 4. We're finally on the play for a match of this league. Hand's pretty good, if a bit awkward with the Rift Bolts, but definitely keeping. I'm going to 6. Okay, they kept 6. Do this, do that. Attack. You are Enduring Ideal. Alright, so Enduring Ideal Prison. So Dafuken. Okay. Okay. Alright. 16. Do they have some way to filter the mana? Trigger? Really? Okay. Enduring Ideal Tron. I have no idea what's going on here. No way to filter mana. Interesting. In case something goes really wonky here. Enduring Ideal Tron. Okay. Board out those. Bring in the skull cracks. Bring in the wear tears and the smashes. And here's Johnny. We're gonna like 2 pass, question mark. And gonna leave the pass out for now. Hopefully smashes and wear tears are enough to fight through worm coils if they have them. Can I risk the mono burn hand against a deck that might be packing main deck ley lines? I mean, with the smash, I think we keep, but okay. Our entire hand might get blanked by 1 card. Yep. Cool. Ripping one of our 2 wear tears would be great, but not instantly conceding because what the friggin' fraggin' fruckin'? Okay. Hello, baby. This is the Big Bopper speaking. Okay. Do you seriously have a... Alright, well, we're going to main phase Boros Charm here. There's no reason not to. Main phase... This one? Pass. Obviously, if they have another ley line, this could get a little rough. No, no. I was going to say, no, not the ley line. Alright. Six points of burn in hand, 9 if you play an artifact. Okay. There. Alright, just passing here. No reason to play nothing yet. Because they ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. 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 Walking Ballista for 2. Sure. Please place Sadness on the stack. Just gonna crack this, because stuff for 100 Alex. Rift Bolt. A little bit awkward. Little bit awkward. Just a little bit of my life for you. Opponent's gonna be a star. Okay. Beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library for a curse card that doesn't have the same name as a curse attached, but... And shuffle your library. Sure. So what you're saying is, use dead. Cool. Bang. Concession. Concession. Be back for match number 5. Back for match number 5. Our opponent is on the play. I think this hand's fine. It's not ideal, but then again, we don't know what we're facing yet, so it is what it is. And discard spell, because why not? Probably taking Eidolon. Yep. No reason to expose the fetch land. Suspend. Go through turn. Excuse me. Alright, so Jund or something similar. Tarmogoyf is a 4/5. So that would make it a 5/6. I think we just killed the card. Kill the Goyf here. Really hate 2-for-1ing myself here, but c'est la vie. Taking a point of damage to hide a little bit of information. Not the best, but not the worst here. Curious if they're Rock or Jund. Looks like a Jund. Nope, looks like Rock, I mean. So they're taking 2 to prevent 1. Okay, 12, sure. A little bit. If they have a Tarmogoyf, not a Tarmogoyf, a Scavenging Ooze, we're in a lot of trouble. If they have anything else, I don't think we particularly care. Alright, so they are in fact Jund. Cool. See, on game 1 would obviously be very nice. Bloodbraid Elf into Abrupt Decay, sure. Bang. Alright. A little bit lucky to win that one on the draw. Definitely interested in the skull cracks. Path to Exile is just such a weird card in this matchup, right? Like, on the one hand, it's like the only card that can deal with a Tarmogoyf usually clean outside of, like, Rest in Peace. And Rest in Peace is just a huge disadvantage in this matchup. On the other hand, it is a liability because it doesn't deal damage. So I wonder if I'm just supposed to bring the Skull Cracks in and go down, like, I don't know, skewer the critics here. Gonna try that. Obviously, Path could be advantageous in some spots, but I've seen way too many other Burn players leaving in Searing Blaze in this matchup, and it's just like... I don't think mulliganing is particularly good in this matchup. Even with the 4-lander, I think with the 2 Sunbaked Canyons, I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. So... I'm going to say, and then we immediately draw a 5th land, right? Get them a land. No play on 1 makes me think they have Collective Brutality or Goyf on 2. Probably Collective Brutality. Which makes our keep really, really bad. Wow, okay, sure. Wow, what kind of hand do they keep? What kind of hand do you keep in Jund that has no interaction until turn 3? Even with a Liliana, that seems extremely loose. Kolaghan's Command. Guess what? We have a lot of crap to pitch here, so, you know. Sure. Bang. So they probably edict us here, maybe play another top land. Okay, so they have 4 lands. This could easily be BBE, I suppose. Tarmogoyf, sure. Trigger. Another Tarmogoyf. A little scary, but at the same time, without life gain, it really doesn't particularly matter here. Go ahead and do this. Yes, I know it won't kill the Goyf, but at least it's damage, and we like damage. We're up to 2. Sure. Do you down tick or do you up tick? You down tick. Okay. Alright. That goes to 1, most likely, to fetch a swamp or a thing. Play their other Goyf. They do nothing. Interesting. I guess if they have life goes on, whatchamacallit here, we could potentially have Weather the Storm. But we just wrote perfect, so. Alright, nice to get the 3-2 there with Burn. Be back in a sec with the wrap. So overall, I think that was a pretty good showing from Burn. As good as a 3-2 showing can be, anyway. So we played 2 pretty good matchups there on the back end. Some type of Enduring Ideal Enduring Ideal Tron. The only card we really likely cared about in the overall strategy of things was Leyline. You know, the hat in turn 2, we ripped the Wear Tear, got a little bit fortunate there. Jund, I think overall, is a relatively close to positive matchup for Burn. The nature of their particular deck makes them a little bit more vulnerable to Burn's strategy. The first 3 matchups were all pretty terrible, and we managed to steal one of those 3, so... And we were on the draw all 3 game 1s in those matchups. Ad Nauseam, 5-colored Niv, and Hardened Scales are all kind of rough matchups. Ad Nauseam overall is just a terrible matchup, plus they have lane lines in the sideboard. Niv just has so much bloody life gain between Uros and Kaya's Guiles and Lightning Helixes and Chemballs, and they just have so much like stuff to wade through that if they have any type of reasonable, respectable hand, a lot of times they're going to beat us. And then Hardened Scales, I would say game 1 is probably favorable for us. But then games 2 and 3, when they get like 4 Nature's Claim and potentially some Weather the Storm or something, it really gets difficult. Just, blank a removal spell or kill an Eidolon, gain 4 life, just really brutal for 1 green. It's really kind of hard to play around that with Skullcrack. It's like one of the few spells in Modern that's more efficient than most of what Burn does. Like gain 4 life, blank your Path to Exile. It's just rough overall. So, but nice to steal the win against Adnaz. Got a little bit lucky there. Got a little bit lucky against Tron in game 2. Our Jund opponent, I'm not really sure what was going on there. Game 2. That was a really slow keep for a Jund player. I don't know what they were thinking in that matchup. Like, I was expecting like a Brutality, something, Their hand was reasonable, but it was really slow. And I don't think against Burn you can keep that slow of a hand. But, yeah. Nice to get net the win. Nice to net the 3-2 overall. Don't really have anything specific about this build. It was nice to have Wear Tear. The cages and the Rest in Pieces didn't come up. Obviously, the core Firewalkers didn't come up. I might be testing more not bringing in Path against Jund moving forward the more we see that matchup. As much as I don't like Searing Blaze because it doesn't kill things, I think sometimes you gotta suck it up and keep the 3 damage spells in. I think I might be coming around to some other people's opinions on that overall, and even though historically I boarded out Searing Blaze against that matchup. So, be something to test in the future going forward. But anyways, this has been John for MTG Nexus with Boros Burn here on the eve of M21's release with Chandra's Incinerator that we'll be testing. And we'll be back with another video soon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.